Is it on? Is it on Facebook? Is it on? Oh Lord, we gotta talk this morning, y'all. I gotta tell y'all how I feel about some issues, and I know I've created quite a controversy, but I've never been known to shy away from issues and how I feel, and so I wanna talk about this whole thing, and I hope that I love having diversity around and lots of types of friends and stuff like that. I'm also going to do my morning routine here real quick while we talk about this, so give me 1 second. Before we get into the truth, before we get into the tea, I'm going to tell y'all how I feel. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to tell you how I feel. It's the truth as I see it. And if I offend you, I apologize now. But anyway, so in the morning when I wake up, y'all, good morning, Diane. Good morning, Vanessa. In the morning when I wake up, I'm doing this new thing right now. Give me 1 second. Where is the honey? So in the morning when I wake up, I do garlic and honey now. Hey, Racy. I gotta find the honey. Ben done hid the honey for me. Hold on 1 second. What are you doing with the honey? I'ma get him. Oh Lord. Anyway, I gotta find my honey, y'all. In the morning, I try to do garlic and honey. Ben done hid the honey because he said I probably done ate too much of it. I don't know what he done with it, Lord. Well, I don't know where he done put the honey at, but anyway, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to find it in a second here. Anyway, so let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. So as some of y'all have seen on my Facebook, I posted something about this whole national anthem thing, and I woke up this morning to some pretty crazy direct messages, and so I had to take a second and collect myself before I got on Facebook Live, because you shouldn't be on Facebook. Hey Rachel, you shouldn't be on Facebook Live when you upset. I was gonna get on here yesterday, and then the Lord said no, my internet went down. So I think that was His way of telling me I needed to calm it down and think about what I was gonna say before I said it. Hey Lisa, and so thank you Lord, because I needed that time, that cooling down period. Then I woke up this morning, and it took me about an hour to... And let me tell y'all some of the messages I got before I go in on this topic real quick. I am seriously... Did he take the honey with him? I'm confused. Where is my honey at? Jesus. What did he do? He hid it, y'all. This is what he did to me. Oops. He hid it from me. I got my honey. Raw and unfiltered honey. Good morning, Brian. So listen. Okay, so where was we at? So these are the messages that I woke up to this morning while I'm peeling my garden. So hold on, let me tell y'all what I'm doing. Hey, Ashley. So, hey, Miss Lovett. So what you do in the morning, hey, Tracy. So what you do in the morning is you take a clove of garlic and you chop it up really fine, and then you put honey on it and you swallow it whole, and it's supposed to have all these medical or medicinal benefits for you. And so I've been trying it. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Tony. And so I've been trying to do this. Good morning, Stacy. And so this is the third day. Now it's really hard to do this, y'all. I have to stay in here. Y'all see me go through my little thing to try to swallow this garlic, because you're not supposed to chew it. You just swallow it whole. Good morning, Stephanie. I'm at Steven. Steven said it sounds like witchcraft. I don't know. Some side effects that I felt. So you do feel a little bit dizzy or lightheaded after you do it. The first day I did a really small piece. I didn't feel anything. The second day I did. It is an appetite suppressant for me. So Anyway, good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Jessica. So let me tell y'all what I woke up to this morning. We're going to get back on this subject. See, when I start talking about other things, I start feeling good. Good morning, Justin. It doesn't taste awful because, good morning, Erica, because the honey masks the taste. But if you have any pieces, if you have any pieces in your mouth and you chew it, it does taste pretty bad. So, hi, Stephanie. But no, you don't. You chop it up and then you put the honey on it. Get your knife out like this, okay? Get your knife out. So let me tell y'all the messages that I woke up to about this whole controversy and stuff. So I woke up to messages that said that I'm cooning for the white man. I woke up to messages where people saying that they were going to unfollow me because I don't support whatever the cause. I got a message on, I think somebody commented that, and then I got a message about it. And so let me be very clear about this. I ain't bothered by that at all. If you don't like something that I say, or you don't like something, Stevie, you crazy. Good morning, Roberta. If you don't like something that I'm doing, please unfollow me. That's your right. You can do that. And it ain't gonna hurt my feelings at all, because I've met so many cool people. And I ain't able to add them anyway, so you just create room for some other people to come on my page. So if that's what you have to do, please, by all means. But that's not going to stop me from speaking the truth. And to be honest, I probably should address this issue a long time ago, but I didn't, because I knew that, you know, I have people on different sides of the issue, and I just was trying to stay out of it. But anyway, I have been... Hold on one second. Let me wash this down. Woo, Lord. So, I don't even know where to start. Let me cut this little piece off here real quick. I don't want to cut my fingers off while I'm on Facebook Live. So this whole thing, cooning for the white man and all this other kind of stuff, for those that have just started following me and don't know, I've never been one that's been quiet if I feel like something is wrong. I've always been unapologetically me, and I'll stand up and say what I have to say, regardless of the consequences. And so, when I saw the third graders on the football field kneeling for the national anthem, I cannot even tell you, and I still haven't gone back to look because I really don't care. I saw it on the news, and I was so upset that I didn't even look to see if they were all black kids or if they were black and white or who was on the football team. I didn't care. What I saw and what I heard was the national anthem being sung, and I saw third graders on their knees with their back against the flag or back towards the flag. A lot of people want to break this down to a racial thing, and it's black versus white. And I don't see that. And I'm going to tell you why I don't see that. The other thing is that the reason that the coach gave behind this whole thing was that black unarmed men are being killed at an alarming rate by law enforcement officers. And so that's why these kids are doing this. And that bothers me, because as a black man who is a law enforcement officer, who's a cop, who grew up in the streets, who understands the game, I'm listening to people say this stuff, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so I'm going to tell you my viewpoint on it. And I don't do stuff for political gain or for promotion or for... Listen, if I wanted to be, you know, off and in Hollywood, I could have done that. Could have went down that path. That's not what I'm about. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just love people. Regardless of who you are, where you're from, whether we agree to disagree, I love you. So I'll put that out there to you real quick. But what you can't do is, and I see this all the time. I see this all the time where people will start saying stuff, but they say this kind of stuff. Well, you white, so you don't understand. you can't say anything because you white. And so we throw that race card and we shut the conversation down. But what you can't do is you can't do that to me. Because see, I'm going to tell you how it is from my experiences, and you can tell me how it is from your experiences, and we can agree to disagree. But how are you going to tell me, because I don't agree with what you're doing, that now I'm racist against black people because I don't understand. What? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That doesn't make no sense. So let me educate you a little bit. Lord, I'm getting upset. I'm starting to get upset because I start thinking about this stuff. Let me educate you a little bit and my viewpoint and why I feel the way that I do. And then we're going to get back to this kneeling thing. When I was growing up and I was going through homelessness and starvation, molestation, suicidal, all these issues that I had as a young man, black people who knew the situation and knew what was going on, do you know their response? Their response was, I'm worried about me and mine. We barely making it. I ain't got time for y'all. Y'all better figure it out. That was my experience growing up. So we struggled. And guess who came and gave me an opportunity? The white man. A white man. Let's be clear. A white man came and gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. And so, excuse me, when you start talking about white people this and white people that, I take it personally offensive. Racism is an issue. Don't get me wrong. Racism is an issue. And it needs to be addressed. But we got to look at how we addressing this thing. And we got to stop generalizing. We got to stop saying all this and all that. All cops are bad. All white people bad. You got white people out there marching in the streets with the black people. But you talking about them like they're not even there. I don't get this mindset. This whole thing about, you know, I'm a victim. No, I'm not a victim. I'm not weak because I'm black. I'm not weak because I'm gay. And then people, you know, the thing about this for me is, listen, racist people, homophobic people, whatever. I look at them, I recognize them, and my job is to rise above them and make them regret the day that they ever felt that way. I'm not going to allow them to dictate my future. I'm not going to let it happen. And so we've been singing "We Shall Overcome" for the last 450 years. And we still ain't overcome yet? That don't make no sense to me. It's like me taking my head and banging it against this damn cabinet right here and expecting something different to happen. What are we doing as a people to make change? This right here, Lord Jesus, this right here, what is this going to do? What is the next step? Because this don't make no sense to me. What is this doing? This is what this tells me right here. And people don't think about the macro. They're always in the micro. They're always in the micro. See, Colin Kaepernick can do this because he got a coin. He got some money in the bank. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's got publicity. He's got a platform. But when you teaching third graders to do this and to turn their back on the flag, what you're not teaching them that is freedom isn't free. What freedom means, and we had a great meeting last night. I'm doing this thing. I'll talk about it a little bit later. It's called being a human, being a live book at the library, and people can rent us. And there was a lady there, and I'm taking this from her, so I got to give her credit. She was from China, and she was talking about how people in China would get killed. And she said, what people don't understand is that, yes, you have freedom in America. But with freedom comes sole responsibility for what happens. And so what you're not teaching these kids is this, is that when they take that knee and they turn their back to that flag, and they have that mindset, and they grow up elementary school, middle school, what you're not teaching them is when they get to college and somebody snaps that picture or they put them on Facebook, and they got that offer for that six-figure job, is that job is going to go away. And now while you sitting behind Facebook being a Facebook warrior, they done lost their six-figure job and thus the ability to make change and affect the environment. See, Colin Kaepernick already got his. But these kids got to get theirs. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they black or white. Don't matter to me. Anybody. It's disrespectful. What is the point of this? Let me tell y'all something. I was on the phone with somebody a couple of months ago, an organization, and they asked me to come sing the national anthem. And I never said anything about it, but I was so hurt. They asked me to come sing the national anthem. Then I get a call back right before the event, and they say to me, you can't sing the national anthem because we think that it's going to be offensive. So can you do something else? And I didn't care about the exposure or nothing. I said no. I was so offended and taken aback by that. We in America, honey, and listen, this ain't a racial thing. And I think when people say it, sometimes it can be taken as a racial thing. But I listened to this lady last night before I say this. She was from China. She worked as hard as she could, did everything that she could to get to this country for an opportunity. So I don't want to hear that, oh, well, we ain't got no money, so we can't. If you hate it here that much, regardless of your race, religion, color, background, if you hate it here this much, find a place that you want to go. If this place is so bad to you, find a place that you want to go. That's not me putting anybody. I'm just telling you, because I see people, I get to meet people in my daily walk that have done it. They hated their country so much. Their country was so bad to them that all they cared about was getting to America. So they did everything that they could to get out of the situation that they was in. And that's all I'm saying to you. Listen, we can go round and round, but how do you make things change? That's my viewpoint, people. How do you change things? You don't change things by being provocative. You don't change things by rioting and looting. You don't change things by pushing people away that want to come in and help you. You change things by getting your education, because first of all, when you get your education, no one can take that away from you, regardless of their viewpoint on your life and how you live your life. Nobody can take it from you, okay? And so you get your education. The next thing you do is you get you a career and you start investing. You invest in your communities. You start voting. All this drama and stuff. Half these people that are talking about take a knee and stuff, they ain't out there voting. They're at home because, oh, I don't care. It don't affect me. It don't matter anyway. Come on, people. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm so frustrated and I'm so tired of this victim mentality and all this stuff. Yes, I've said this time and time again. There are issues in law enforcement. There are issues in the justice system. I see it. Everybody sees it. A blind man can see it. But how do we reform that? How do we deal with that? And this whole taking a knee thing, I'm trying to understand okay, you done took a knee, you done took a seat, you done laid down. Now what are you going to do? How do we work past that? I'm tired of all this symbolism stuff. Let's get to work. What are we doing? And so I just, God, man. And now I got black people telling me that I'm not pro-black. I'm not. Listen, that's crazy to me. So if you're going to unfollow me, go ahead and unfollow me. I don't care. I love you. Now, I'll be the first person to say, you have the right to do it, baby. You have the right to get on your knees. You got the right to burn the American flag. You got the right to do all of that. That's what makes this country so great. But I don't have to agree with it. We're going to agree to disagree. There is nothing that you can say that tells me that it's okay. And you tell me how my view. What do I have to gain from it? I don't understand this whole thing, cooning for the white man. What does that mean? And I don't support the cause. I'll be the first person, if something is racist or if something is homophobic or if something is sexist, I'll be the first person to say something and call somebody out. I don't care. I wouldn't work with somebody like that, especially in law enforcement. If you're doing something wrong, I'm going to address it. I don't care. I'm going to call you out on it. But we got to stop this thing. We got to address it and call it what it is. And this whole thing, and I don't know why people, this other thing that we do as a community about telling our kids that they got to work 10 times as hard, and they're not as smart as the white kids, and they don't have the same opportunity. Stop that stuff. Stop it. It is ridiculous, because what you're telling your kids is that they're slow. What you're telling your kids is that something's not right about them, and that's not the case. Let me tell you something. And the other thing that people are telling their kids is that, you know, oh, because you're a black man or because you're a black kid, you know, you got to do this in order to get through dealing with cops. No. It's not because of the race of your race. We got to talk about that. We got to have more education sessions about what it is. You know, regardless of your race, if you're in a car and you get stopped, cut your light on. If it's at night, put your hands on the wheel. It has nothing to do with this race thing. I don't understand. I don't understand this mindset. It's all about the mindset and the perspective. Have I been pulled over by law enforcement officers? Yes. Have I had bad encounters with law enforcement officers? Yes. But you know what? It's those law enforcement officers. Specific to those law enforcement officers. Did I go through the process to make complaints? Yes. And guess what? If the process don't work, you take it to the next level. But being on your knees ain't gonna change anything. Get up off your knees. Get off your knees. I get so frustrated. I really get frustrated, and I don't know. Right now, y'all, what I'm doing is I'm talking to y'all as I'm chopping up this garlic. You gotta mince the garlic up, because remember, I'm gonna swallow it whole, and I don't want it to. I want it to go down pretty easy, so. But yeah, so listen, I woke up this morning, when I saw those messages, I was so frustrated, because, you know, again, I love people, and I will always support, you know, we can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, I have no patience for it. When I see people kneeling, when I see people turning their backs on the flag and doing all this stuff, it does something to me. And some people, they'll have this argument here. I'm supposed to be chopping my stuff up, Lord. Let me chop up and talk at the same time. So some people have the argument that when you're kneeling, that you're disrespecting service members. I don't believe that. That's not why I get upset. I get upset because that flag represents this country as a whole. As jacked up as you may believe it to be, it represents this country as a whole. And so when you kneeling when the national anthem is being played, to me it's a sign of disrespect to this country. And what you're saying is that this country ain't, I'm not going to cuss, Lord, but this country ain't nothing. And only in this country can someone go through all the things that I've been through and still have the opportunities that I have. And yes, I made it out. And there are many people who haven't, but that's why I'm so dedicated to doing what I do, to go back and help those people. So, yes, we can have conversations, you know, about what's jacked up about the country in specific areas. And we can talk about how to fix it. But again, we got to get to work. We do a lot of talking. We do a lot of protesting. And then we go back to our daily lives and we expect things to change. It's just a flashpoint of emotion. We get emotional. We're emotional people. We get emotional and then we jump right back into our daily lives when nothing ain't changed. It's no different. We do it in all aspects of our life. It's not just with this. Family issues. Everything. We're built off emotion. Listen, I get just as pissed off when the young lady walked into the freezer. That bothered me. When, you know, I hear about people's houses in Wilmington getting shot up and and kids having to be shipped off because they can't stay in the area because the gang. You know what? Let me talk about this too, because I'm on to another tangent. Lord Jesus, I got to get up off of here because I got things to do. But this whole respect me thing, because I'm a man, let me talk to y'all about this. Let me talk to y'all about this thing, because I grew up like that with this whole thing. You're going to respect me. You're going to respect me because I'm a black man. And I get the mentality. It comes from, before I address the root cause of the issue, let's address some other things real quick. Or the symptoms, let's address the root cause. I got that backwards, but anyway, Lord. It comes from environment, that mentality. Because you've taken my dignity. You've told me I'm not smart. You told me I don't have any light at the end of the tunnel. The only thing left that I have, most of the time, I don't have a family. So the only thing left that I have to hold on to is my respect. That's the only thing that I control, because everything around me is out of my control, and you done told me I'm not going to make it anyway. So I'm going to fight for my respect, because as a black man in America, that's all I have, right? And it's getting people killed. It's not only getting them killed, it's sending them straight to jail. So we got to talk about this whole "you will respect me" and how all of that plays out as well. And it doesn't just go for black men. It goes for people in general. But I'm focused on my black people right now. But everybody can take this and run with it. Alright? Throwing your hands is not going to get you anywhere. Okay? It's getting people killed. And this whole, you know, it's hold on one second, D, I'm coming back to you. And this whole thing about, you know, if you don't respect me, then I'm gonna, you know, I'm willing to fight to the death. What? Live another day. Live another day. If you come into contact, this has nothing to do with law enforcement or specifically anybody. I don't care. You come into contact with anybody. Learn how to get through the encounter and move on. You know what shows our mentality? That man that posted the video, who did, and I'll come back to Sandra Bland. That young man who posted a video where he was dealing with the guy that was calling him the N-word and being all racially provocative and stuff, and the guy didn't say anything, and he was like, "Yes, sir," and stuff. That video right there showed the mentality of our people. Because what did our people say? What did black people specifically say about that black man who didn't engage him, who didn't get out of the car and threw his hands? What did black people say about that? They called him weak. They called him all kinds of things that relate to that. Y'all know what I'm saying, what I'm getting to. They called him all kinds of names, derogatory names, because he didn't get out and throw hands with that guy. He didn't get out and beat him down. He didn't knock him out. That man was smart. He thought with his mind. He wanted to get home to his kids. He didn't know if he beat on that man, if that woman that was in the car wouldn't have got out with a gun and shot him. And then there's some more kids growing up without a daddy. What did he do? He exposed them. He put them on social media. The man lost his job because of his actions. And see, you got to think long game. But that's not how we talk to these kids. We show, oh, you got to be a man. You got to show. Okay. Okay, same thing with coming into contact with the law enforcement. You know your rights? Well, if something's done illegally, then make it through the encounter, get your tail home, document, go get your little attorney, and get your money. But what is this whole thing about? We got to throw hands. We got to jump out of the car. We got to call you out for being racist. Where is this coming from? Survive the encounter. Not just with law enforcement. That goes with gang activity. That goes with any of that stuff. Somebody want to rob you? Guess what, honey? Lord, I'm sweating heavy today. This is probably this garlic. Somebody want to rob me? Here, take it. Whatever you want, you got it. I'll live another day to be able to describe you to move on. I'm just not, you got to think the long game. You got to think the long game, people. You got to think the long game. So that's my point. All right. Now, we're talking about Tamir Rice, and I think we talked about Sandra Bland. I think I said that right. And all of these cases out there. Let me tell you something. Let me get my stuff here ready. All right. Go down one more time. When I think about these cases, Castile, all of these cases. Who else? There was some, all of them. Doesn't matter which one. What I will tell you is that we very rarely, in the initial case, will find out all the information. And so I'll start with this because I hear people say this all the time. Well, why don't law enforcement officers speak out against other law enforcement officers who are doing illegal things in these situations when they happen? Because if we go out there and we speak out, hold on one second, sorry. And we're wrong, that affects our employment. You see, when we know that we're right, oh Jesus. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So if we go out there and say, oh, he did it because he's racist, or he did it because he's black, or he did it because he killed him because he was black, or he killed him because he was a minority. We go out there and we say that thing, and then we're wrong, that affects our employment. We don't have that luxury to do that. So we wait for the facts. And people, nowadays, everything is instantaneous. If something happens, we want everybody to say, they were wrong. They did it because of the race. They did it because of this. And we start doing that, and then they come back to say, hey, everything that you were told, because we know the media will skew stuff. We know people make false statements about things. We do that, and then we out of a job. So you can't. That's an unrealistic expectation. Now, what you have seen, and if you pay attention to, is that when we see stuff that's just outright crazy, I've heard law enforcement officers speak on it. I've seen it in the news. I've spoken on things before. If I see a situation, I'll give you a good example. Say that I see an officer go up to a car and say a racial epithet or something like that to a person. Or I see something that's clearly defined. I'd be the first person to say, hey, that's jacked up. Fire him. Something needs to happen, right? Something that's clear. But what we don't see when all this stuff gets put in the media is different camera angles. We don't hear the history. We don't know all this other stuff. So anyway, back to the other stuff. I'm going off on another tangent. Back to the other stuff with these people. And I know the questions that are out there. This is what I will say. A lot of times with these cases, I haven't done the research. So I don't know all of it. I saw the flashpoint. I looked into it a little bit and I moved on. This is what I will say about it. In the case where someone is killed by a law enforcement officer and it's unjustified, that law enforcement officer should be held accountable. But it's not happening as much as people says it is. That's all I can tell you. Whether we're talking about Tamir Rice or whether we're talking about all these other things, it's tragic that someone's life. Let me tell you something. Even if it's justified, let's get past that. Hold on. Let me say this real quick. Whether it's justified or not, these are people. I don't care whether you're a heroin addict. It pains me to say this. I don't care if you're a pedophile. I don't care if you're a murderer. You are a person. Whether it's justified or not, to see someone die is terrible. Whether you're black, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Hindu, whether you got a lot of money or no money, it doesn't matter. And so we start talking about people as if they don't have, like, we don't value human life. And so, but you know, this is what I will say about this. And I've seen this happen, and I know this personally. We say that law enforcement officers aren't being held accountable when they believe when they do something, or they kill someone, or they arrest somebody, and we feel like it's unjustified, right? That's what's going on. We're saying that people aren't being held accountable. And what I will say is that oftentimes we don't know all the facts. That's what I'm saying to you. Have there been people that have gotten off and gotten away? I'm sure. I'm sure. But the other part of that is that we don't know all the facts. That's what I'm trying to say. We may look at something from the outside and say we know that it's wrong. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've seen what the media's put out there, and it's been so far off. We sitting at home in the comfort of our own homes, looking at this stuff and saying it's wrong. It shouldn't have happened that way. But we ain't never been to the area. We ain't experienced nothing. We don't know anything about the person's lifestyle and the decisions that they've made. We just sit in our own little environments that are comfortable, and we make these snap decisions on these situations. I'm not saying that. You get what I'm saying? I hope, Joanta, you still there? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that some of these times these officers shouldn't have handled situations better and shouldn't have been trained better. That's why, you know, when you say law enforcement this and law enforcement that, I take offense to that, because we in our area focus, and in my agency, we focus really heavily on training, crisis intervention training, how to deal with people, cultural diversity. We focus very heavily. And so when you say police officers, it's everybody. So I'm included in that everybody, and I know it's not the case. But we're also asking officers to make these snap second decisions in these tough environments. And we sign up for it. So, you know, you don't get a pass. We sign up for it. But we're asked to make these decisions that people get to make, you know, in the comforts of their homes, is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully this is coming out right. You know, and I've seen this, and criminals, regardless of their color, are using this to their advantage nowadays. You stopped me because I'm black. Look at me. I stopped you because of what? Oh, now because I'm a cop. Because I'm a cop and black, my opinion doesn't matter. What? What? You know, I can get the understanding. I get both sides of it because I've experienced both sides of it. But what I cannot, I just don't understand, for me personally, as I deal with this issue. And I knew talking about it was going to cause issues. I knew that it was going to cause people to unfollow me, defriend me, not invite me to certain events. But you know what? I don't care about that. I have to say what's on my heart and how I feel. And when I go around and I talk to these kids, I give them the same message. Don't you get down on your knees during the national anthem. Don't you go out there and think that life is hopeless. Even if you've made a mistake. When I go to the detention centers, I tell the kids the same thing. You don't give up. You keep fighting. When there's an issue, you address the issue. You don't do this passive stuff. I consider all that other stuff passive. If you're not working your butt off day in and day out to make a change, if you're not dealing with it, if you're not interacting with people. Did y'all see that video out there with the Black Lives Matter thing? Did y'all see that? Where they had the pro-Trump rally and the Black Lives Matter got up there. One of the representatives got up there and spoke at the pro-Trump rally. Did y'all see that? Anybody out there saw that? That is what I'm talking about right there. Because you got two groups on opposite ends of the spectrum. And whoever that man was, I thank you, who allowed the Black Lives Matter representative to get up there and speak. And he got up there and he spoke his point. And there was a meeting of minds in the middle. So how do we address these issues? Because I've talked about all the issues that are out there. How do we address racism? How do we address homophobia? How do we address sexism? How do we communicate with one another? We talk. We stop saying you go to your corner, I'll go to mine. We stop rioting. We stop being divisive. White people over here, black people over there. It's always white and black, like it's only white and black people in this community, in this country. We got Asians, we got Mexicans, we got all kinds of stuff. This is the melting pot, and we always white, black, white, black. What in the world? And you got people who are mixed, who don't, they're like, which way do I go? Because I got black in me, I got white in me. Which side? I don't know. They're confused. I look at these young people, they're so confused. They are so confused because of what's going on. This is what I believe personally. This is what I believe is that we have people on both sides of this spectrum that are gaining from the divisiveness. We have people on both sides of the spectrum that love confusion and love the turmoil, and you throw the media in there because they want the ratings, and it's just a recipe for disaster. That's what I believe. And at the end of the day, you know, again, I want to be very clear because I couldn't type all. I'm tired of typing. And I reached out to my brother and I said, listen, I love you, man. We agree to disagree. I told him, I love you. I'm not going to, you know, argue with you about it. For me and mine, I wish I would. You let me see one of my kids on a knee. Like I said in the post, he wouldn't have no knees. That's his last time on that football team. Because you got to understand what you are saying, what your message is, what your body language is telling people. We know that there's racism. You don't need to get on your knees to tell us that there's racism in America. You don't have to get on your knees to tell us that there's problems. You don't. We know that. How do we fix the issue? That's what we need to know. That's what we need to know. Is how we gonna fix this thing. You know, I love everybody. I do, but it makes me so mad because we have this victim mentality. And then you know, to say that white people are propping me up. Listen, I don't need anybody to prop me up. There could be all mad faces across this screen, and I'm gonna say how I feel, and I'm gonna say what the truth is. So you can't challenge me. So what do people do? Because you can't challenge me because I've been there. You unfollow me. You try to silence me by not inviting me to stuff. Who cares? I don't care. Listen, I can promise you, my friend list dipped below. It could dip to 3,000 right now, and I can promise you I can fill it right back up. Who lives by that type of stuff? Who likes and loves, and who lives by that? If you are living by a like and a love, there's something wrong with you. If you don't have a position and something that you're driven and fighting for, and you just living by Facebook, then there's something wrong with you. That's how I feel. And so, you know, I go to the events. I go to the all-black barbecues and stuff. And I'm that cousin that y'all don't like sometimes because I say some off-the-wall stuff. But, you know, it is what it is. I like to make people think a little bit, I hope. If I do nothing else, I hope I make you think. You know, and I would never give a listen. Like I said, as long as you ain't doing as long as you ain't hurting nobody, you do you, boo. But I'm gonna daggone show say that when I feel like you're wrong, I'm going to say something. And if you don't like it, then this is the wrong page for you. This is the wrong page for you. It has nothing to, you know, and all of it is about really, what am I doing? Oh, let me get my thing. It's about exposure. A lot of this is about exposure, because it's easy to discount something or to talk against something, but when you've had the experience and the exposure, that's when it gets hard. Have y'all seen the videos? You can go look it up on YouTube right now. You get all these community leaders, and they put them through scenarios that law enforcement officers experience every day of their lives, and guess what they do? They shoot. They shoot. And then they look real dumb on camera because they just shot an unarmed person, and they realize, oh my God, it's not that easy. Now, we got to do better as law enforcement. We got to do better as law enforcement, but we are working. We are working hard. And all I'm asking, I can't say we because I can't speak for all the law enforcement. All I'm asking is that when you've had a bad experience with the law enforcement officer, just like anything else, that you are specific in that law enforcement has issues, that law enforcement officer needs training, and you look at it that way versus all law enforcement are bad. Cops are out to kill black people. I just can't. As a black man, it offends me. And this national anthem thing, before I get up off of here, y'all, this national anthem thing, this country may be toe down. It may not live up to its values, but we're not perfect. We're trying to get there. And I get that. But it's all we got. And so I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. And I love this country. I mean, I do. I feel like there is lots of opportunity in this country. In spite of all of the other stuff, the racism, the systemic racism, the system and the way it's set up, there is opportunity. We just have to be given an opportunity and given a chance to go out and get it. And we have to be exposed, and we have to tell our people that. And too often in these inner cities, they don't know that. They don't get that message. I sat across from a young man from DC last night, and he told his story. And it's the story of many inner city kids. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't have the vision because they're always told, we are our own worst critics. You're not smart enough. You can't make it. We don't have the money. They don't care about you. And it starts with us and how we treat one another, because, you know, my thing is love. That's why the show's going to be Cooking with Love. I'm all about love. I love you right where you are, for who you are. You ain't got to do nothing extra for me. You ain't got to like, you ain't got to love, you ain't got to comment, you ain't got to do nothing. I just love you for who you are. I love people. That's my heart. That's how I look at it. And so, and I've had people say some pretty racist stuff to me. I've been I've been through the gamut. I've seen the worst that society has to offer. And I'm still optimistic, and I still believe that we can come together if we want to. But there's too many people that benefit from this divisiveness. There's too many people that are benefiting from it. And we are stuck in the middle, left to clean it up. Whether it be politicians, the media, hell, even the drug dealers benefit from it, because they out there telling their kids and the people that they're running with what to do and how to act. There's too many players, and we're not thinking through this. So let's stop singing "We Shall Overcome," and let's overcome. And overcome together, because we are stronger together. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what you've done. We are stronger together. I believe that with all my heart. I believe that. I don't care, and people know I don't judge anybody. I can't judge anybody. I don't care whether you're a felon. I don't care whether whatever you've done. And so, you know, if that doesn't make me black enough, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If it doesn't make me black enough, and you feel like I'm not there for the cause, I'm there for the cause. Trust me. I recognize and see some stuff. But I also recognize that we got to overcome it, and we've got to do something different. Be proud of being. I'm proud to be a black man. I'm proud to be a gay man. I'm proud to be Christian. I'm proud to be all of those things. Proud. And regardless of who does the killing, when I see somebody die, it hurts me. I don't care. Justified, unjustified, cop doing it or another black person doing it or a white person, it doesn't matter. When a life is lost, that hurts me. And so, you know, you want to preach police brutality, that's fine. But make sure that you have all the facts before you jump out there and start spewing this craziness. Make sure that you understand that law enforcement agencies, there's over 18,000, I believe. So when you deal with one that, you know, there we go, right there, one, don't you put that on everybody, because I'm going to be here right here every time saying, what? Who? Huh? You may come into contact with some racist law enforcement officers. It may happen. We're human. You cannot catch everything, but we do a very good job in this area of trying to. And so that's my message to y'all. I love y'all. I got to go ahead and do this garlic thing. I'm get up off of here and get my work done today. I got some things to do. Let's see. Lord Jesus, I got some things to do. I hope that what I said hasn't created any more confusion and it better explains to people my viewpoint and where I'm coming from. So for all those that have said that, you know, or feel that I am that I'm not helping the black people agenda, and that you know, I just call BS when I see it. And it hurts. It really does. It bothers me that other black people would say that I'm cooning for the white man. Like that's just in my head right now. I cannot believe that somebody would say that to me. I can't. Because I'm beyond that. I don't even think in those terms. I don't think of I look at things and it's either right or wrong to me. Yes, I did a little bit of service in the military, and so maybe that's where my perspective comes from. Some people also know that I got put out of the military for the don't ask, don't tell policy, which is something that I still struggle with to this day, because, you know, that's all I ever wanted to do was serve in the military. And so, yes, I've experienced the worst of the worst out there. But you know, and it's been hard. It's been really hard, you know, dealing with some of these organizations, predominantly black focused or black community focused, because I listen to the same stuff and I'm just beyond that. I'm beyond sitting in a building and talking about these issues. What are we doing to get out there and to change it? How are we helping our people? Many people know my goal is to start a center for predominantly LGBT youth, but for youth in general, and to help kids have the support that they need to be successful regardless of their race. You know, we can find every excuse in the book to fail. We're good at that as people. We are good at finding reasons to fail. We are good at finding excuses. But what we're not good at is getting the work done. We're not good at getting the work done. I have every excuse to fail. I have every excuse to be angry. But where is that going to lead? Where is that going to lead? So, let's come together, people. Let's come together. We know racism exists. We know the history of the country. We know that there's problems with sexism and all these other issues. We know this. I don't need you to tell me, but what are we going to do to fix it? Let's come together and let's have a game plan. How do we attack it? And that's part of my cooking show. We're going to look at that. That's why I'm so excited about this cooking show, because we're going to talk about issues like that. And I'm going to put the proof. See, it's not all about talking, it's about action. So when I'm sitting across from somebody who's racist in my home and we're cooking together, that's an example of how we're going to combat this. Not being a Facebook warrior, not throwing out the most provocative thing that you can throw out just to get somebody upset. When I'm sitting across from a person who's doing heroin and we're talking about their issues, that's how we're going to fix it. It's called human interaction. That's my belief. That's my belief. That's how I look at it. This country is all I got, and I will defend it to the end of my days. That's just how I feel. I ain't going nowhere else. I done visited some other countries and I didn't like what I saw. And I didn't like the experience either. So it may be jacked up, but it's alright. And I take issues with... Lord, I shouldn't say that. No, I'm going to say it because I'm going to say what I want to say. And then we want to talk about the black community. Just like the LGBT community, we ain't got it all together. We hate on each other. We put each other down. Soon as one starts rising, the rest of us trying to pull them back. We're always talking about people, spreading rumors and stuff. We got racism in the black community. You lighter, so you more what? We got to clean up our own backyard, if you want me to be honest. We got to support one another. I got people that won't invite me to events because I'm a cop. But we're supposed to be about black people? What? These are issues, these are things that I've experienced, and it frustrates me. And for so long I've been quiet because, I don't want to be that person that, you're always negative and you're always speaking out about this stuff. But I've seen the black community do some very, very terrible things within its community. Me being gay, oh my God, that's that's terrible. We push our own people out, regardless. Transgender people, we kill our people. Oh, because they're transgender, they don't matter. We kill them. We do all of these things to ourselves, but we expect the outside world, whoever that may be, to respect us. But we don't respect one another. Same thing with the LGBT community. You all don't know some of the things that I've experienced. And I'm not even going to go into it because I don't need to. Ridiculous. Small group of people in the LGBT community, and we got racism and issues in the community. I just did a deal, and at the end of it, it did not go like it was supposed to. I didn't get what I was supposed to contractually and all that other kind of stuff, and it was because of my race. So it still happens. But you know what? I said, oh, that's okay. Keep moving. Keep moving. You don't let it stop. I didn't get all on Facebook and call the company out. I didn't get on Facebook and call the representative out and say, oh, and listen, I don't throw the racism card around. And I could explain the whole situation, but I'm not going to do that. It was specifically because of my race, that they didn't do what they said they were going to do, because the clientele they didn't think would maintain the product, keep the product, blah, 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 blah. But that's okay. That's okay. Because guess what? They were expecting me to be all crazy and to try to do all... Listen, I'm good. I'm good. I'm solid. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So we got a lot of stuff to clean up in these minority communities. Women, stop hating on each other. We talk about sexism and how it's a man's world coming down that alley too. Because I listen to women. I listen to how y'all talk about one another, how y'all treat one another, backstabbing, all that kind of stuff. But you expect other people to start living by the values that you expect other people to live by. That's what I'm telling you right now. That's the whole point of all this stuff, is start living by the values that you expect other people to live by. So what I'm saying is if you don't want other people to do it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And then if you see it happening, you should be addressing it. Because if you're silent, that means you condone it. Or if you sit over in the corner like, I hope that don't happen to me, you just as bad as the people that are doing it. I'm telling y'all, there's some issues out there. There are some serious issues. Hey, Tarif. And so my thing is, I'm going to close with this. Oh, Lord Jesus. Look, it's 11:31, and I got to, oh, Lord. Let me see. I done missed my appointment probably. I'm excited. Let me tell y'all about something real quick that's going on. I'm going to do a post about it later. As I said and mentioned earlier, I'm doing the Human Library. And I'm going to be sitting down at the library at England Run, I believe it is, and I'll give you the date and stuff at a later time. And me and several other people, there'll be about 10 of us, and we get to tell our life stories, and people get to check us out. So it's called Checking Out a Live Book. And last night I was so privileged to sit down for an orientation, and I got to talk to people from other countries, people from different parts of America, and they talk about their stories, and it was such an honor to sit there and to listen to people and how they've made it through adversity. And so a lot of these issues that I'm talking about, you know, it's real. I get to meet people all across this country that have experienced it firsthand. And so how do I, you know, and I'm going to get off of here with this. Anyway, so I'm very excited about it. I'll give you the date, the time, and all that stuff come out. You will get blessed. Bring your family, bring your friends, because they will be exposed to a lot. So at any rate, I think that's it. Again, I love you all. We may agree to disagree on this topic, but it doesn't change the fact that I love you. I respect you. That's really important to me that people know that. And we may have a different viewpoint on these issues, but just know that until, you know, I'm not about symbolism. I'm about action. Okay, that's my point with this whole thing. I'm about action. You know, silence, symbolism, not my thing. All right. What are we going to do to fix these issues? You gotta start walking. Stop kneeling. Start walking. And this, like I said, I know people are I'm going to probably be having all these conversations about this. This country is not perfect. We have a long way to go. But if I can make it, if little old me can make it, then you can too. Regardless of whatever. You put whatever you want in there. Whatever we use to divide ourselves. And if you're a black person out there right now and you upset with me, I'm sorry. But that's just the way it is. This is what I'll tell my black people, and I'm signing off. I'm going to take my medicine. This is my medicine here this morning. So let me show y'all what I'm going to do real quick before so I chop it up real fine like that. And then I take the honey, because this would be nasty if I just ate it like that. I couldn't do that. I don't think anybody can, but maybe there's some people out there that like garlic. So you take the honey like this, and then you put the honey on top of the garlic like that. And honey's good for you. I have bad allergies, so this really helps with me. And you mix it up real quick, and then you just swallow it. Now I'm not going to show y'all that because I have a hard time. I got to psych myself up because swallowing something and not chewing it, that don't work too well for me. But yes, for black people that say that, you know, you want to talk about all the issues out there, my response is start a business and start hiring some other black folk. If you feel like, you know, there's always a solution for the problem, but let's not just sit on TV and talk about, you know, the problem. Keep saying what the problem is. And honey, my tent is big. I don't care what she is. You can be trisexual and purple. If you want to help other people, then we good for it. We there. If you know there's some racist people and you want to go sit down and talk to them, let's do it. But anyway, so I love you guys. I love you. And again, you know, we are where we are, but we're gonna make it. I'm optimistic that we are gonna make it as a people together. We can't do it any other way. So you all have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And for those that can't support, I still love you anyway. Have a great day.